Hello, Brother Munro here. Welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. And today, I'm finally back onto the user scenarios. This one sent in by Volrosk on the Discord server. If you want to do that, there's a link in the video description. And this is being recorded live on Twitch. And this is the first user scenario under Alpha 12, or at least the first on Patreon one under Alpha 12. Exciting stuff. So, this is the Naval Procurement Act of 1922. Congress has asked me to build a new set of ships, and Twitch chat wants them to be Dreadnought 2s. Oh boy. Now, I've got a hard limit of 36,000 tons, which unfortunately under version 86 is very hard to get to, but I hope Volrosk doesn't begrudge me the 4 tons. They must be able to go faster than 21 knots so that they're better than the standard class or the Colorado class. And then we're to go up against in a war game against the Regina Marina. Although I just noticed they're supposed to have 1919 technology, not equivalent technology. Right. Let's get into the build process. Now, history nerds in Twitch chat can tell me what the actual successor to the standards was, because I cannot remember. Thank you very much for the follow, Someone Gamer. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Right. Cage masts. Yes, they're rubbish. Let's go for the tall one. This is lighter. And to be honest, yeah, you lose that. I mean, they're just terrible, stat wise, but they look pretty. They look really pretty. Okay. Oh god. Funnel. What do we got? 105 smoke. Get maybe 2 tall funnel 4s in. No, they don't fit. Tall funnel 2s. 3 of them? No, 3 is too much. I can get 2 in. Okay. Oh, oil 1. Yeah, there we go. Lovely stuff. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Well, it's good afternoon for me, but yes, good morning. Yeah, I know. I'm really early for viewers in America. I am sorry about that. Basically, stream when I can. I used to stream a lot later, but since I got ill, that's been really, really difficult. I will get back to it though. Don't worry. So it's a little bit easier for those across the pond to watch. Right. Go say balanced boilers and wow. Okay, balanced boilers are crazy. 36 knots, well that definitely meets the brief, but that's probably a little insane. How fast can we go on natural boilers? What? No. 30 knots with minimal smoke interference? Okay. Sure, that seems reasonable. Now, it's a US ship. Let's go for medium range and standard bulkheads. Alright. Twitch chat, if you can think of a state that you want to name this ship after, then do feel free to post a suggestion. Not necessarily going to pick it, but I'll go for it. Right, let's have a look at the gun options. 16 Mark 1s, 15 Mark 2s, 14 Mark 3s. There's an argument to be made for all 3 of these. Still look at accuracy. Huh. There's a little bit of drop off going from the 14s to the 15s. But the damage does actually go up. US never had a 15-inch gun armed battleship, did they? That might be an interesting option to go for. Sensible thing to do is to go for 14s, but 15s or even 16s might be interesting. Yeah, I'd love it to call it Puerto Rico, but sadly Puerto Rico was not a state in 1922. One thing I've actually meant to check is the number of stars on UAD battleships, because I actually worked out there are 6 different versions of the Union flag during Ultimate Admiral's timeline. I'm just really curious if they'd actually change, but I can't be bothered actually counting all the bloody things. Right. 15s, 16s. So it's going to be joules. So I could go 15 joules or 16 joules or 14 joules. Mind you, the Americans go 14 triples, wouldn't they? You know what? I never use 14-inch guns. People always tell me off for never choosing them, so... Very classic. 4 triple 14-inch guns. There we go. Let's bring this in. Lovely. Casement guns. Oh yeah, you can fit big ones there, can't you? Always found those particularly useless. Let's go for 5s though. Just for a little bit of pea shooter ability. And then a couple of 3s on the mast. It would be nice to fit some secondary guns in, but I actually think on this hull they're not gonna... Yeah, it doesn't let me put them up here, so we just have to make do with those 5-inch casement guns. Mind you, there are no light ships in this scenario, so that's fine. It wasn't the word Puerto Rico that got censored, Ricochet. It was implying that Puerto Rico has... mother and father were not married at the time of their birth. Which, yeah. Automod is silly. The Washington? Sure. But this isn't 1942. This is 1922. When I believe the US flag was different. Hello there, Suma. How you doing? Anyway, continuing on. We are pretty high up in terms of weight. Let's get the armour scheme and things sorted out. We definitely want a torpedo bulkhead, but it puts us way overweight. And torpedo 1, perhaps? If I go high TNT, can I manage it? I can. Okay. Semi-auto loaders are too heavy. So's that. Let's pick up a sonar set. No, can't fit it. Really pushing the boundaries here. Fortunately, this thing comes with pretty decent armour as standard. And cost-wise, 46 mil. That's not terrible. Melly shush. That is my dog, in case you were wondering. Be nice to round the armour values out. Not quite. Well, that'll do. I've gone... I know it's technically slightly overweight, but I think it's fine. Probably should put a radio telegraph on it, but they are very heavy. So, actually not as heavy as I thought. 100 tons? Or 200 tons for the RDF. I don't think fiddling with the armour would be enough to get that in. But maybe we could get an advanced radio system in. 100 tons, though. No, we'll leave it off for now. It's not required by the scenario. Got a little bit of a 4-weight offset. A little bit of an half-weight offset. That's not too bad. The flag had 48 stars from 1912 to 1959. Okay, so it should have 48 stars. I don't know how many that is, but that's not in a grid. That's an offset one. The Washington it is. USS Washington. Yeah, it's not the real flag. I wonder which flag it is. If I had to guess, the developers have probably put the 52-star one in. Here you go. Idea for a mod. Historically accurate US flags based on the year. Alright. I think we'll try her out. Now this does take a little bit longer, I've noticed, on the Alpha 12, but it's a fake ship, it's a pirate, flying a future flag. See, what I'm really interested in is, I know it's not a big thing right now in America, but it's starting to gather steam, is Puerto Rico and District of Columbia getting statehood. I think that could be really interesting, because then they'll have to change the flag again to 52. And if they get statehood at different times, then there'll be a 51 flag, 51 star version. Right, here we have the heavy cruisers, which were built by a different shipyard. Minimum bulkhead 9-inch cruisers, so note to this other team, 9-inch guns aren't allowed under the Washington Naval Treaty, and you're over the weight limit for a cruiser. Naughty, and they're rubbish. Minimum bulkheads. Pretty fast. Armour is okay. No, they could carry torpedoes. Alright, switch your torpedoes off for now, please, gentlemen. Check that they've done that. They have. So we've got the Missoula, the Chicago, and the Memphis. Then we have the Washington, the Idaho, the Colorado, and the Arkansas. Headed straight at the enemy, just as they should be. Probably the most... Oh, look at that. That's just gorgeous. Not my usual design, but an Ultimate Admiral, even if it's one of these things, it still looks absolutely amazing. I love seeing them all in a line like that. Yes, right. Hello there, Toby. How you doing? Yeah, I've heard that argument about DC shouldn't be a state because it's supposed to be neutral ground and all the rest of it, but reality, that is not what has happened. And they are text without being represented, which it goes against the fundamental principle of the United States. Oh, the comment section for this video is going to be on fire. I'm just poking. I think, yes, technically, blah-de-blah, but I think it would be a lot fairer to the people living there if it was a state. That's how I see it. You can argue the semantics of the how and the why and all the rest of it, but I think that's what it boils down to. So. Not that I am a US voter or have any right to an opinion, but there we go. So, Tony, what we're doing is, well, you haven't missed much. It's basically me screaming at computers all morning, offline. And Twitch went down in the UK just as I was about to start streaming anyway. What have we got? Oh my! Italians coming out with a Naval design with a Nelson on the front and a couple of turrets on the back. Interesting. It looks like they're coming this way. So let's get around to meet their line. I tend to avoid reality. That place sucks. Indeed it does. No. Yes. Real life. What's that? Boo. Yes. That's almost like I planned this, because the cruisers slot in ahead of the battleships. Although these American battleships are fast. Definitely fulfilled that part of the design brief. These are not standard class ships by any means. Lovely stuff. No IDs on the enemy yet. Doing good damage on the enemy ships though. Flooding hits. Good stuff. Right, Memphis. Come out. Form the screen. Very appropriate or absolutely laughable. So the design brief was that this is a successor to the standard class, which were slow. Built in started construction 1922. So probably a little ahead of their time, but definitely representing US design philosophy later on. Ah, these are their battle cruisers, which we are faster than. Screw you. 14-inch guns, much larger than us. Many bulkheads, no torpedoes. Okay. Interesting. So this must be their battleships at the back. Well, we'll engage their battlecruiser squadron for now. Starting to send some torpedoes in the general direction of the enemy. Why don't you try and torpedo that ship? Whatever it is. I don't hold out much hope of those hitting anything, but might break up the enemy formation, cause them to try and avoid things like that. More good hits on the Guillotine. Battle cruisers, more like battle snoozers. That's a good one. That's a good insult. They're really having trouble because they're armoured up like cruisers, but they are big targets. And our accuracy is decent, even steaming along at, what are we doing at the moment, 22 knots, most of them. Oh, it was a heavy cruiser, Santa Maria. Standard bulkheads. Alright, engaging my own cruiser line. Fair enough. Looks like the Giocchino has had enough. Right, Arkansas, come to starboard. Oh, torpedo in the water. I think fired at the Memphis, but the Memphis is detached from the division, and I'm just going to get them to leave the battle because they are seriously damaged and with minimum bulkheads. They just need to get out of dodge. Oh, Chicago, don't run into the torpedo, please. Or do. Up to you. Don't think it's threatening Colorado or the Idaho. They're the famous last words and all that. No, the Chicago got hit. Right, you can retreat as well. At least they intercepted the torpedo for the more important ship and didn't sink. The Giacchino almost down. Oh no, Chicago sinks. That's what happens with minimum bulkheads. Couldn't control the flooding. Right, don't worry about the Giacchino so much. Arkansas. See if you can get a good salvo in on the Ruggiero over there. Now, Giacchino goes down. And, yeah, starting to retarget onto the Ruggiero. A couple of good hits straight away. Let's have a look at the enemy battleships. I haven't looked at them at all yet. What have we got? 8 15-inch guns. Firing cordite. Oh, God. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. What happened to you? Flash fire. The Q turret exploded. And the whole thing went up. Yikes. Sorry I missed that. Okay, Arkansas, you can... Well, with their cruiser down and their battle cruisers sunk, we can now aggressively move in on the enemy lines. Alright, Missoula. Do they carry torpedoes? No, they don't. Excellent. Bit of long-range fire, causing quite a lot of damage on the Benedetto Brin. Few bulkheads as well, so they are prone to flooding. Ba, 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 ba. I know, battlecruiser is supposed to be fast like a cruiser, hence the armour of a cruiser, but this is fast like a cruiser with the armour of a battleship. So, yeah, I never subscribed to that theory of cruiser design, that you make them fast by stripping the armour off. I would much rather they carry either smaller guns than a battleship, or fewer of them, depending on whether you want a cruiser killer or what I would call a true battle cruiser. And I think they should have the armour of a battleship and be fast. That tends to be how I go about designing them. Because something like this will just have them for lunch. Jackie Fisher's modern dream ship would be a modern DDG. I know. Was never a fan of that. Armour's not important idea. Okay, Missoula's taken too many hits. Your torpedoes to normal and get out of there. Should do a port turn and fire the torpedo. In fact, go aggressive on the torpedoes. And I'm assuming you're targeting the Benedetto thread. Yes. Torpedoes away. Brilliant. Right, cruisers can disengage now, and this is just a job for the battleships. We are much faster than them. 5 knots speed advantage over the enemy. Oh no, leave my cruiser alone. Oh, Nope, down she goes. Too many holes. Torpedoes would have probably missed anyway, so no huge loss there. Why go 30 knots with 14 inches of armor when you can go 40 knots with 4 inches? Was indeed the idea, exactly. So the reason you don't want to do 40 knots with 4... Like, you've got different grades of armor. Like this thing, with its 12-6 belt extended, is pretty standard for a battleship. But what that does is it means that you really can't be damaged easily by enemy cruisers. Even a heavy cruiser with 11-inch guns is going to really struggle to cause significant damage to you. And that's what it's about. It's not necessarily about keeping out main battleship grade weapons, although it helps. It's about keeping out the smaller weapons that can cause you damage. Yeah, when you hear about Dreadnoughts, you think Jackie Fisher's a genius, and then his ideas for battle cruisers. But the thing people forget about battle cruisers is, at the time that they were invented, they effectively rendered armoured cruisers obsolete. Because they were so much faster, they carried more armour than an armoured cruiser, and much heavier guns. The mistake was in thinking that they had any business tangling with battleships. Because every time that happened, they just really suffered. It depends how you build them. It really does. Good morning, Praetorianus. How you doing? Yeah, the Palestro just getting absolutely hammered. But you can build battlecruisers in Ultimate Admiral, true battlecruisers that can tangle with battleships. They can be effective in that role, but you have to build them with that in mind, and real battlecruisers were not. You can basically build them as cheaper battleships if you want. Oh, Palestro, you are sinking, my friend. Might carry bigger guns, but you have not made them count. There she goes. Only the Madonna del Virginia left. Or Vigna. Vigna? Vigna. Yeah, Hood did have quite heavy armour for a battlecruiser. She was really more of a fast battleship than a battlecruiser. The design was modified so much. For when she was built, anyway. Obviously, later on, not so much. Ooh. And come on, down you go. Arkansas has taken 10 hits, only 10 hits from those 15-inch guns. Whew. Yeah, really not impressed with these Italian ships. And come on, sink. What on earth was that? It's alright, Millie, don't worry about it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that one. Millie certainly did. And I like that ship. Not bad as a success of the standard. I'm going to go and deal with Millie, and I'll be back soon for some more Admiral Dreadnoughts. Bye-bye.